so happy to see y'all here. Thank you so much for joining us for the 3rd annual Carrying the Torch event. Round of applause for that. Round of applause for continuity, for tradition, for keeping things going and gathering together. My name is Amanda Johnston. I'm the founder and executive director of Torch Literary Arts. It is my honor to be here as your host tonight. This, as you know, is the day after Juneteenth, right? So yesterday we celebrated Juneteenth, our day of freedom, but today Torch intentionally has the Carrying the Torch program on the 20th to represent the work that is yet to come. We know we've got a long way to go, right? And that justice is for everyone, everywhere, right? So when I travel, you know, I was raised here in Austin, and so we've celebrated Juneteenth for a long time. And I would travel, and people say, well, what is Juneteenth, and why do you do that? Or worse, why do you celebrate getting the word late? Boo that. And I remind them, though, we're not celebrating getting the news late. We're celebrating a step closer to freedom. That as long as anyone is fighting oppression, is fighting against the chains that bind them, is fighting for freedom, true freedom, then none of us are free, right? So I'm so grateful that we're here and we're able to support the work that Torch does. Torch Literary Arts is a nonprofit organization that supports Black women writers with intention and love. Black women writers represent less than 5% of all publishing, all literature, right? Black women led and serving organizations receive less than half of 1% of funding globally, right? But you all being here is a testament to the power of our work and how we are able to amplify the voices of these incredible Black women and how that increases the important voices in our larger narrative for all of us, right? We amplify us all by making sure that those who are most marginalized, most underrepresented, those who are not heard, have a voice. Not just a seat at the table, but a strong position on the dais. Yes? Yes? All right. So I started Torch Literary Arts, gosh, it's almost 20 years now, in 2006. And I wanted to create a space, as a Black woman writer myself, as a poet, I was often leaving Austin. I was traveling. The majority of publishing, if you don't know, over 75% is on the East Coast. Meaning the publishers, the agents, the fellowships and retreats are there. But I said, I live here. And a friend asked me, why are you always leaving? I said, well, the invitations come from there. They're not coming from here. So I said, let me make a space here so that I can take some of those challenges off of the shoulders of my sisters who live right here in Central Texas. So I'm gonna actually start us off with some poems I wanna bring in as the title of this program tells you, we're carrying the torch forward, right? So that means we also bring the voices of our ancestors, our foremothers, forward. And I wanna share a poem, 2 poems, one by Phyllis Wheatley, and then one by me for Phyllis Wheatley. Raise your hand if you know who Phyllis Wheatley is. Okay. Wonderful. All right, A Hymn to the Evening by Phyllis Wheatley. Soon as the sun forsook the eastern main, the pealing thunder shook the heavenly plain. Majestic grandeur from the zephyr's wing exhales the incense of the blooming spring. Soft pearl the streams, the birds renew their notes, and through the air their mingled music floats. Through all the heavens what beauteous dyes and spread, but the west glories in the deepest red. So many of our breasts with every virtue glow, the living temples of our God below, filled with the praise of him who gives the light and draws the sable curtains of the night. Let placid slumbers soothe each weary mind, at morn to wake more heavenly, more refined, So shall the labors of the day begin, more pure, more guarded from the snares of sin. Night's laden scepter seals my drowsy eyes, then cease my song till fair aurora rise. Phyllis Wheatley. And this is my poem for Phyllis Wheatley. This, too, is work for Phyllis Wheatley Peters, who was kidnapped from her family in the Senegal, Gambia region of West Africa in 1761 by enslavers and sold in Boston when she was about 7 years old. She is considered to be the first African-American author of a published book of poetry. I know who I am, but these white men want me to show them, prove I am a master of their tongue. They sit me down and say, write, and I am already the poem they seek. Stole away from my homeland, far from the green hills and great winding river that rise and fall with each line I summon from my quill. This is dangerous work, creating verse beyond their understanding of my being. I perform on the edge of peril. They pontificate and praise themselves for what they have done to me, what they've shaped in their image and sound. But I know who I am. I have a secret name tucked in my cheek. It sharpens the razors I hide in each syllable they greedily chew. I write a feast and feed the world the devil's delicacy. I cook the poems and write myself free. Thank you. So, as you heard in the poem, Phyllis Wheatley Peters is considered the first African-American author of a published book of poetry, but she was kidnapped and brought here when she was a child. So I cannot imagine the work that she had to endure, the life that she had to endure, that is very much whitewashed now, right? For those who do know who Phyllis Wheatley Peters is, and Peters gets left off, but that was her chosen married name. When she was free and able to be married, she chose her partner in that name. But she endured incredible circumstances, and she was able to find poetry in that and truly set herself free with her creative writing, with her voice, with her word. So in her honor, we continue today, and we're gonna welcome these incredible readers tonight. Are y'all ready? Come on, keep that energy up. All right, so first up, we have Bree Nunn. Bree Nunn is a community outreach manager for a nonprofit based in Austin, as well as the host of her podcast, Bree the Black Sheep. She is currently working on her BA at Houston-Tillotson University, where she plans to become a producer and create positive media for Black youth. Her previous work as the admin fellow for Torch Literary Arts, and as an advocate in the domestic violence field has allowed her to use her passions of speaking up for Black women and their wellness to make positive change in our community. She is a writer, a poet, and mother of two beautiful girls. Please welcome Bree Nunn.
Okay, thank you so much for that lovely introduction. Can y'all hear me? Yeah. Okay. Before I begin, I really want to say thank you to the Torch team, because working for Torch was the first time in my entire life that I have ever worked for a place where I was emotionally secure. Like I was safe to come to work every day. So I just want a lot of you in the crowd who are not Black women to understand, like, the spiritual warfare we go through at work. And this was the first and only place I have ever been where I truly felt emotionally safe. And I want to thank you for that. I want to thank Elena and Brittany for being such great coworkers and helping me professionally and personally. And a lot of you don't know this, but my first week of going to Torch events, I had just moved back from New York, and it was the week Sonia Massey was murdered, and I was just at the lowest. Like, having Black daughters in this world, feeling like you can't protect them, and just honestly wanting to give up. So I came to a Torch event, and being in the company of other Black women who shared their stories, who were fighting, it helped me keep going. So when I say Torch Literary Arts is doing life-changing work, I mean it, personally. So, thank you. So my first poem this was the first poem I wrote in my adulthood. So I wanted to do this one first, and I named it after my current age because it's sort of like an introduction of myself, but also me introducing me back to myself. And the title of this poem is 32. Listen, I'm the most confident, insecure bitch you'll ever meet. Yeah, I said it. I have a winning personality, no booty, nappy hair, and apparently ugly feet. Society, racism, and colorism will have me hating myself, and the media will validate those fallacies. When did love in my skin become so radical? And why is it so brave for me to know how my power transforms a room because every bit of me is that magical? And when the hell did all the men who look like me start hating me and taking some long-ass sabbatical away from protecting me? I mean, I'm gay, anyways. So it really shouldn't bother me, right? I'm too confident to let those comments seep into my subconscious and keep me up at night. Still, somehow, I lay awake wondering how the girl who doesn't give a damn what anyone says lets those thoughts replay over and over again in my head and chip away at all the confidence that I claim to have. I mean, how scary would an overconfident Black girl be without all the humblings in her path? But I promised myself I wouldn't write a sad poem about being me in this world, because I could die a million times and I would still pray to Goddess to come back being a Black girl. So I guess I'm left being the most confident, insecure girl you'll ever meet. And I can tell you that I'll always care what they say, but it'll never stop me from loving me. I am the most confident, insecure woman you'll ever meet. Nice to meet you. I'm Bree. Okay, so this next work, I wrote this because no matter where I go in the world, I always come back to this place. If you know, you know. This next short poem is called The Hair Store. Bonnets, boho braids, barrettes, and baby doll keychains. You can get it all at the hair store. No judgment, half-headed, short on braiding hair, praying you make it by 7. We ain't talking Sally's Beauty Supplies. We talking the real beauty supplies. Black beauties are in full supply at the hair store. Okay, so I've been in therapy for years, and so I'm always priding myself on being a great communicator. My mama know. And so I think I have it all figured out, but I know that I'm realizing that I have trouble expressing my emotions in any way but this one emotion. And so I created this poem to talk about how I constantly use this emotion to guide myself through the world. The name of this poem is called Infinite Irritation. I wake up rejuvenated, thankful to be alive, peaceful, grateful, ignoring yet another headline. And I see my 2 beautiful girls. Then remember they live in this world. I can't protect them no matter what I do. And now I'm a bit irritated. I want to wear my fro today, but don't want all the extra attention. I want to look feminine. Black girls don't get to be feminine. This mental gymnastics is giving my head tension. I'm even more irritated. He told me he loves me, and the love goes straight to my love handles. And he kisses my forehead. I remember I'm ugly. He's happy, I'm masking, and now I'm irritated. So I go watch trash TV, unaffected by the drama, numbing myself, it's guilt-free, until they all bully the one Black girl. She's hated, they're entertained, and feel-good TV doesn't feel good anymore. And again, I'm left irritated. I'm trying to clean my house because Sundays are meant for cleaning, but I have 36 Spanish assignments due, and by midnight, my kids won't stop screaming. They're screaming, I'm screaming, my head is pounding, I'm about to explode, and I'm a tad bit more than irritated. I want my kids to see me happy. I want them to see Black girl magic, the superwoman, Black joy on full display, except I'm drowning by the end of the day, and I'm just so irritated. And then my mom tells me everything will be all right. Mama's always right, so I ease up. But another headline of a Black woman's body laying cold while they use her womb as an incubator rips away all the joy, and I swallow back my tears deep inside myself because she isn't me, but she is me. And again, I'm irritated. I want to be angry or sad. I want to be hurt. I want to be seen, understood. I want to be heard, but because I'm not able to show any of those things, I guess I'll just be forever irritated. And so this last and final poem I wrote this year for my poetry and performance class. Shout out to HT, shout out to my professor, shout out to Tommy Mouton, who pushed me to make this work even better and keep going when I honestly didn't feel like creating. And I wrote this poem to my daughter. She just turned 13. And I just wanted her to know that she is the light in this world. So my last and final poem is called Hey Black Girl. Hey Black girl, who told you you were too loud, too sensitive, too proud of being you? Her style is too hood. Who told her she was a queen? She needs to humble herself, that ego, and everything in between. Well, I see you. From the curl of your lips to the sway of your hips, hair touching the sky, that wide gap-toothed smile, I believe you will change the world. Because you are every Black girl, and we need you. Don't let them drown you in their lies. I can't save you, and they can't erase you. Learn to dream without limits. Learn to beam without bounds. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Don't let the fear of plummeting to the ground stop you. That girl in the mirror has your back forever. Look to her for validation. She won't drop you. Hey, Black girl. Mama said crying won't change much. Well, go on and cry, baby. You ain't got nothing to lose, and trust that we won't judge. Scream and kick and fight and grieve and heal and love. There's so much more to achieve. I love you, Black girl. I hold you, Black girl. Don't ignore your calling from above. You are everything to me in this world. Hey, Black girl, you are enough. Thank you.
All right, another round of applause for Bree Nine. I love to see it. Don't we love to see it? All right, it was such a privilege to have you as an admin fellow with Torch just last fall. And while we provide a learning opportunity for fellows to learn about literary arts nonprofits, arts communities, we learned so much from you. Your generous spirit, your truly caring and thoughtfulness, you care. You care about the work and the people, and that will make you successful wherever you go, Bree. Congratulations on school and on tonight. All right. Now, we've got more folks have come in. If you have a seat next to you, I see one right here. Is this an open seat? I believe so. If someone wants to take this seat, I think that might be the only seat. Is there another one back there, maybe? Okay. All right, well, you're welcome to also lean on the bar. Thank you, Ballet Bar, for being here to hold us up. All right, we're gonna keep this going. Y'all ready for our next reader? Are y'all ready for our next reader? Up next, we have Alicia Harmon. Alicia Harmon is a writer of fiction, poetry, and film scripts. Originally from Columbus, Ohio, she graduated from Indiana University with a bachelor's in sociology and African American and African Diaspora studies, with minors in psychology, Spanish, and creative writing. I know, okay? Come on, degrees. Her work focuses on rawness, complexity, and the political nature of intimacy in its various forms: familial, platonic, romantic, and sexual. Currently, she is a fiction fellow at the Michener Center of Writers, and this August, she will be a Kimbilio fellow. Yes! She wrote and co-directed a short film titled White Dresses with filmmaker Musila Munuve. Her fiction is published in Obsidian, Literature and Arts in the African Diaspora, and her poetry is upcoming in the Praisesong for the People printed anthology. Give it up for Alicia Harmon.
First I ask, can y'all hear me? Yes. Okay, I know I can be a little bit soft-spoken, so I'm gonna try to stay up on the mic. Thank you so much for the introduction, and also thank you so much for the invitation. It really means a lot to be here. So the pieces that I'll be reading today, I'm gonna focus on pride and healing in relation to intimacy, as is the focus of my work. So like I said, sexual, romantic, platonic, familial, as well as intimacy with the self. Intimacy is political. Society designates who is subject to abuse by defining who is protected, who is pure, who is lascivious, whose pleasure is wrong, whose pain is normalized. Going back to slavery, and that was celebrating Juneteenth, that was a particularly difficult period. Enslaved people faced violence, breeding, family separation, gynecological experimentation. It was a lot. And abuse and exploitation mark Black intimate experiences from before slavery all the way through to the modern day. However, healing, bonding, and liberation also mark every one of those moments. And I'll be focusing on that continued journey to find that healing, liberation, and bonding. Audre Lorde explains in Uses of Erotic, the erotic as power, that we can use our creative and intimate energies to protect, heal, and mobilize each other. So I'm gonna read a few pieces, fiction and poetry, exploring those themes. And I'll go ahead and I'll open up with a poem. It's gonna start a little sad, but it'll be up nice again by the end. Munchies. Forgive me my insatiability. Eating myself raw like I can regenerate, starfish style, like my legs, arms, and head can come back. False, I'm chicken running. My body's lightning fights to keep it alive, it almost does. My body's salt grips tight to the current, I am the emptiest of calories. There's nothing but loss here. My giblets cooked, my liver sauteed, my fat fried up into rinds. What is left but me in a stomach? I take a mushy mush form, everything eaten down to my boxes, my hair, I am naked. Buried in a stomach stretched to implosion, 'cause they told me finish the plate, don't let me live. So, so next I'm gonna read a little bit from my novel in progress to give a little context, since we're beginning kind of in the middle or at the end of a chapter. The novel takes place during the main character Amon's last summer living with her family before leaving to college. And this excerpt in particular focuses on her first relationship with a man, her sexual relationship with a man. Spoiler, she's gay, and rather masculine when it comes to dress. She's allowed to dress how she wants to, but similar to that opening poem, she's eating away at herself throughout this novel. Her first romantic relationship was with a girl, her aunt, who she lived with throughout high school. They respond very well to that. And after high school, after graduating, she's sent back to live with her mother in the Eastern Shore of Virginia, tiny little strip, tiny little part off the coast of Virginia and Maryland. It's there that she meets Solomon, who's the son of her mama's friend Thomas. And this section begins after Amon and Solomon have gone to pick up pizza for dinner because mama ruined the meal she was cooking for everybody. And they do a little something simple in the parking lot of said pizza joint. And the novel is titled My Body Remembers You. Amon didn't think having the hole between her legs split open for the first time was going to be beautiful. She didn't have any movie images of soft music and moaning or pornographic fantasies of having someone bang away at her until she somehow, very loudly came. Her fantasy was realistic. She does all the touching that men consider foreplay. She's familiar with the touches, has moved over a woman's body. She begins to learn his. At some point, they break the flow, stop touching and kissing and breathing to ask about a condom. He puts it on, or she puts it on. Yeah, she puts it on. Doing as she's been recommended, she starts on top, it's easier. She goes slowly, rocks or bounces as she's ready. Her man keeps her mind fluid, distracts her from the pain with his hand in his mouth. He knows how to use them. Eventually, she lays down and turns around. After the pain begins fading, she opens up more, and it starts to be all right being filled. Almost feels like how people say it should. Her first time being broken open will be a process. Stop and start, not romantic, but good. No, it did not go like that. Aman can't find a bra. She looks for underneath their bodies in the front seat, underneath the front seat on the carpeted floor with broken leaves stuck in its fabric. Solomon has already pulled on his clothes. She glances through the foggy windows, now oppressed about somebody looking in as they sit parked around the side of the building. He helps her look for a bra for a moment before he says he's going to run inside and get the pizza. It's probably been ready for 10 minutes now. He grabs the old gray t-shirt that was left in his back seat. They had laid it underneath them. It, wrapped around his condom, has dots of her blood and his cum on it. He throws it away in a nearby trash can as he walks inside. She finds her bra in the back dash. She finishes pulling on her clothes before she climbs out the car. Her legs feel wobbly as she walks in the bathroom, and there she is alone. She is throbbing. It's difficult to pee, taking a few seconds before the stream begins. They walk back outside at the same time, and he holds the door for her. Their car doors shut just a second apart from each other. She takes the large pizza boxes in her lap. "Sometime this week and come over my place," he says before they pull off. "I won't be working." Mama looks at the pizzas but says nothing right away as Aman and Solomon come inside, the screen door slamming behind them. As Mama walks over to Mr. Thomas, she doesn't look at Aman or Solomon's face. Aman wonders if she can sense what they did. "They might not be too hot now," Aman says as he places the pizza on the dining room table. Mama opens the box on top. The pepperonis like the greasy glisten of warmth. Her lips tighten. "They look cold," she says. Mr. Thomas looks down at the pizza from beside her and smiles. "I'm hungry however it comes." They eat over TV trays and talk about the game show answers. Apparently, oranges are a man-made hybrid of pomelos and mandarins. The oldest star in the universe is called the Methuselah star. Mama doesn't try to guess anything. Mr. Thomas attempts almost every question. Solomon every so often glances at Aman, his gaze mostly neutral. She acts like she doesn't see him, but her mind keeps coming back to him and what they've done. Eventually, Thomas leaves, his son following behind. Clouds are forming thick, and they want to make it back before it pours. Aman doesn't think they will make it in time. Mama is tense. She moves stiffly and keeps looking up at the sky. She closes the curtain, she turns off the light. It's a quiet ritual she follows when it storms. Aman looks around to see if there's anything else that will be more noisy, following the ritual without thinking. And Tati would laugh. And she did laugh when Aman told her about sitting in the living room in the dark, all cuddled up and talking in whispers back when Aman was young. It was awkward when things were tense between them, fun at other times, but all the time, Aman's body tightened in response to Mama's, a feeling that wasn't hers. Then the cracks and they jump. Mama tells Aman she's laying down before she goes to her room. She's careful to shut the door gently. It hurts so bad. Aman grabs a hand mirror to look between her legs. She expects to see her vagina ripped apart, to see a gaping hole where there was once pink flesh. She knew it was going to hurt. Having fingers inside for the first time hurt, but they had been gentle. Just the idea of a man going inside, really going inside, dried her up. She reminded herself, though, that she can learn to like it. Solomon tried to get her there, but she couldn't get nearly as wet as needed. In his mind, she could tell was really on the next thing. He kept telling her to relax, to let him in, that it was okay. She put her hand on his stomach to keep him back, and as she tried to slow him down with wait, stop, saying he semi-patiently obliged. He went slow, then sped up. She told him it hurt. He went slower, softer, then got faster, harder. She endured, gripping his arms, pressing her fingers into his back, sucking in her breath and groaning, even though she was trying to keep from being so loud. Maybe he thought the noise meant she was liking it. Sometimes when she imagined herself especially quiet, when she concentrated on the ceiling of the car, when he was shooting especially straight, she gripped the brief relief like an orgasm. She pulls her sky blue panties back on, puts the hand mirror on the dresser and lays down. She keeps replaying it in her head as she lays there, the whole thing until her mind sets on certain images, his widened eyes as she suddenly asks to kiss him, his lips on her neck, his voice breathy in her ear, blood in her shirt. Her body grips herself, her hips tighten with the thought of being entered until she forces that thought to stop. She had sex with him, and she could see how it could feel good. Maybe next time. Now on to happier pieces, about healing and, romantic intimacy, particularly queer intimacy, explored through just a couple more poems, so y'all almost done with me. So first poem, Blankets. Darkness passing over your gaze, eyelids lowered, the whites of your eyes covered a little more. I like to see how you gaze when you don't know I'm watching. We're meeting each other somewhere, and you're looking for me in the crowd. Each passing face you're observing, taking them in, looking for something, waiting nervously. You hold back your worry, but I can feel it. Or your eyes when they see me, smoky eyes, sun brightening, smile brightening, the whites of your eyes whitening as they take me in. I love how you look when you're watching me. We go. Meet, date, goodbye, meet, date, hold hands, goodbye, meet, date, kiss, goodbye, meet, date, just shining. Again and again, yes. A hesitant invitation to your east-facing home, my quiet knowing of what it means to come in. I worry, sweaty about when darkness comes. You ask, won't you lay beside me? I ready myself. Like you slick from a humid day, I slide off your clothes. I rotate round your star, then you say, let me. You place me on my back, my belly's organs exposed to you, inside parts exposed to air, eyes closed so that I can't see where you are. Your eyes brighten, you love me. I'm sun lightning, I burn in your arms, you watch me. I can't outrun light, I can't run, I can't, 'cause you hold me. That's that funny. And just one last piece. First, credit to Maya Angelou because two of the lines are borrowed from Caged Bird. I actually wrote this poem at Ridges Art Gallery. Shout out to other Black artistic spaces. So yeah. Firefly. In the orange sun rays, I notice how cute you look. You wear a crocheted hat of sunset colors and black sky colors. It halos your head with a lip brim longer than I expected, cuter than a video you sent me. Yesterday, you grind yourself through crocheting it, and today you adorn yourself. Smile from under it up at me. I watch your pops of energy, rising, falling, rising, voice little burst of you. A story, a fun fact, an opinion, pop, pop, popping from under a hatch. You grind yourself through making, messing up, taking apart, restarting, finishing it yesterday, so that today atop your head it draws eyes to you and dares to claim the sky. Thank y'all.
I love how we are able to come together and all of our stories are present, right? All of our experience. That's what's beautiful about creative writing. And Black women are not a monolith. We represent all the intersectional aspects of our incredible lives, right? And that's what Torch wants to do, create a space where all of us then can speak freely. I say this, if you want to know how free you are, think about how much you hold your tongue. What you'll say, what you won't say, and what you'll damn near bite your cheek off because you've been so silenced. Thank you for not being silent. Thank you for speaking up. Yes. All right, are you ready for our next reader? Woo! All right, Jennifer Wilkes is an associate professor of English, African and African Diaspora Studies, and Comparative Literature at the University of Texas at Austin, where she serves as director of the John L. Warfeld Center for African and African American Studies. Her book, Carmen in Diaspora, Adaptation, Race, and Opera's Most Famous Character, is a cultural history of Carmen, adaptation set in African diasporic context, and was published by Oxford University Press in 2024. An award-winning teacher, Wilkes is a member of the inaugural Texas 10, the Texas X's annual recognition of top UT Austin professors, and a recipient of the Harry Ransom Award for Teaching Excellence and the Thomas Cable Upper Division Teaching Award. Wilkes also serves on the boards of the Texas Book Festival, shout out to our friends, Texas Book Festival, and Austin Opera. Please welcome Jennifer Wilkes.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Thank you, everyone, for coming out today. I'm not a poet, so my remarks are going to be a praise song for Black women writers and for liberation. And the spirit of Phyllis Wheatley was visiting me too, so we'll hear some more about her. So if I began writing my last book, spurred by curiosity, I finished with a sense of certainty. The curiosity came in the form of a question. Why are there so many versions of this French opera set in the African diaspora with Black women in the title role? The certainty came in 2 words. Of course. Of course, this story of an unruly woman of color who celebrates freedom would resonate with the experiences of Black women across time, place, and culture. In the US, Black women, especially writers, have taken up the cause of freedom from the colonial era to the present. It's this history that I'd like us to reflect upon this evening as we commemorate that June day 160 years ago when emancipation came to enslaved Texans. Born in West Africa in the mid-18th century, Phyllis Wheatley Peters proved the absurdity and obscenity of enslavement with the strokes of her quill. Enslaved and brought to colonial Massachusetts as a young child, Peters not only learned the language of her captors, she mastered it, penning texts so striking in their artistic virtuosity that her enslaver had to attest that she was indeed their author. She could be deferential, as in her 1773 poem On Being Brought from Africa to America, in which she encourages white Christians to recognize Black humanity. Remember, Christians, Negroes black as Cain, may be refined and join the angelic train. Even better, the printed version of the poem italicizes the words Christians, Negroes, and Cain, simultaneously emphasizing and destabilizing them. In other words, who was pagan and who was Christian? Whose behavior was actually going to qualify them for a ticket to heaven on that angelic train? There is an undeniable force beneath the apparent deference, proof that legal slavery did not equal mental bondage. Phyllis Wheatley Peters could also be defiant, as seen in her 1774 letter to Mohegan Indian minister, the Reverend Samson Occam. God grant deliverance in his own way and time, and get him honor upon all those whose avarice impels them to countenance and help forward the calamities of their fellow creatures. This I desire not for the hurt, but to convince them of the strange absurdity of their conduct, whose words and actions are so diametrically opposite. How well the cry for liberty and the reverse disposition for the exercise of oppressive power over others agree. I humbly think it does not require the penetration of a philosopher to determine. Here, Peters gives us an American masterclass in what 18th century observers might have called piety, and what their 21st century counterparts might call shade. She is blessing the hearts of those whose greed prevents them from recognizing the plight of the enslaved. She wishes them no ill will, but wonders how anyone with any common sense could fail to see the contradiction between crying out for liberty from an oppressive regime and oppressing their fellow human beings. Surely this fundamental truth can't be that difficult to grasp if a young enslaved woman understands it. Some 120 years later, educator Anna Julia Cooper asserted that women's perspectives were not just important to Black freedom struggles. Such perspectives were central to the fight for African American civil rights. In her 1892 collection, A Voice from the South, Cooper argues that the fundamental agency under God in the regeneration, the retraining of the race, as well as the groundwork and starting point of its progress upward, must be the Black woman. According to Cooper and other Black women activists of her day, there was no putting the issue of gender on the back burner until the race question was settled. On the contrary, true liberation would only come when the voices of the most marginalized were not only heard, but as Amanda noted earlier, but also incorporated into discussions of how best to achieve social justice. Or, as summarized by Cooper in what is probably the most cited passage from her work, only the Black woman can say when and where I enter in the quiet, undisputed dignity of my womanhood without violence and without suing or special patronage, then and there the whole Negro race enters with me. Now, as much as I love a rousing speech by a Black club woman, and I do, the era in which Cooper worked produced respectability politics along with stirring agency. As scholar Paula Giddings has noted, while the late 19th and the early 20th century cult of true womanhood forced white ladies to prove that they were women, it forced Black women to prove that they were ladies, beyond moral reproach and ready to educate the next generation in the ways of godliness and citizenship. Yet, however much this insistence on respectability was meant to ensure progress and prevent any return to bondage, it circumscribed African American lives in new, if different ways. For this reason, I now invite us to take another leap across time, in this case to the early and late 20th century, and two writers whose work ushered in a new era of liberation for Black women in particular, and Black people more generally, Zora Neale Hurston and Toni Morrison. Both deeply informed by the regions from which they hailed, Central Florida for Hurston and Northeast Ohio for Morrison, they nonetheless created African American characters whose lives and loves seem limitless, unbound by social constraints like moralism, racism, and sexism, and capable of surpassing even larger forces like geography, physics, or for that matter, mortality. To borrow Hurston's assessment of her own identity, these characters are not tragically colored, they are vividly so. It is this thirst for a free, full life that, in Their Eyes Were Watching God, propels Hurston's Janie to protect herself when her second husband becomes abusive, to lean into the great love that follows, and to appreciate the luxury of her own company at novel's end. And I quote, "Here was peace. She pulled in her horizon like a great fishnet, pulled it from around the waist of the world, and draped it over her shoulder. So much of life in its meshes. She called in her soul to come and see," end quote. It is the same impulse that drives the title character of Morrison, Sula, who answers her grandmother's insistence that she settle down and have children with the retort, "I don't want to make anybody else. I want to make myself." And it is the same desire for radical freedom that prompts Jadine, the main character of Morrison's Tar Baby, to embrace her sexuality to the degree that an older Black woman who works with her grandparents calls her the chippy, the fast ass. This is the literary history that swirled in my head as I finished writing about Carmen, marveling at the resonances between a 19th century Romani character declaring that she was born free and would die free, and 3 centuries of African-American women writers daring to imagine freedom for themselves and their communities. I'll close by moving from the Opera House to the stadium, the realm of 21st century diva and H-Town's own, Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter, who sings of freedom on her groundbreaking 2016 visual album, Lemonade. I break chains all by myself, won't let my freedom rot in hell. Hey, I'ma keep running, 'cause a winner don't quit on themselves. As enslaved Americans refuse to quit on themselves, let us not quit in this moment when racism, homophobia, transphobia, misogyny, xenophobia, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, and authoritarianism are on the rise. Let us keep running with the pointed indignation of Phyllis, the political clarity of Anna Julia, the boundless vision of Zora and Tony, and the fierce determination of Beyonce. May it be so.
Right, Jennifer. Oh my gosh. A round of applause for all of our readers. Alicia Harmon, Bree Nunn, Jennifer Wild. A round of applause for the facility. We are here at the African American Culture and Heritage Facility. Let it be so. Let our spaces continue to be here and supported. Thank you to the staff here at the facility. Thank you to the City of Austin, our major funder who invests in the work of Torch Literary Arts and does so and makes us able to support our community of Black women writers and the larger literary and arts community of Austin. I also want to thank the Birdine Johnson Foundation, the Poetry Foundation, and individual donors, of which there are many, 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 who make our work possible. Y'all see it down here. There's a QR code if y'all want to learn more about how y'all can help. But you can also visit torchliteraryarts.org online, those brochures that were in your seat and they're in the back. Learn more, follow us, subscribe to the newsletter. We'd love to see you at more events. But I am gonna close with one new poem. That's right. So I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. This is Untitled or Cycle, still figuring that out. The 24-hour news cycle runs through my handheld tracking device. The ice caps are melting. Ice is coming. Note, not for me because I'm an American citizen. I pay taxes, I'm legal, I am the law. Breaking news, Americans deported due to an administrative error. A bag of cash was left on the border of a foreign enemy in an undisclosed location with premium liquor and swag. Clink your bracelets 2 times for the dream. I was once legal tender. Good breeding hips, expensive money maker, mulatto baby mama. Who's your daddy, Sam? Note, insert history of Handmaid's Tale before the book awards and TV series washed the negress out. Now with less Hottentot. Twinkle, twinkle, little Venus, they'll soon conquer you too. Oh, say, can you lend me $1? In God we trust, fairy dust, roll it up in my payday advance reverse mortgage payment plan. Note, it states here, the plan never included we. Oh, say, see the fine print, so many declarations under an Uno reverse card. And just like that, they roll it back. Who made the game? Who set the board? Who made the rules? Who broke the law? Let's go back to the beginning, the motherland, the land before time, take it all back. Mother is trying to heal herself, burn it out with fever, infect the infection, wash it away clean. Stubborn little parasites we are. Let's go to Mars. Yeah, take us to the stars, put some rockets on our rockets, just in case we cross a border looking for a safe landing and some alien in our own image calls us alien and all hell breaks loose. We'll watch it on our big screen TVs as soon as it's available for streaming. We'll confuse the bombs here with there and vice versa until it all sounds like laughter and singing and canaries falling from the sky. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Please, if you just came in, there's food next door. We don't want to take none of that home. Get you something to eat. We're going to turn the music back on. Say hi to somebody you haven't met yet. Come and applaud these incredible writers. Ask our wonderful team. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Elena. Thank you so much for making this possible. Thank you, Larry, for capturing us and making us always look good on film. But thank you all. It takes a lot these days. The world is heavy. So it is not lost on me what it takes for you to come outside and be here. But the world we want happens outside, not on our couches. So thank you so much for coming. I love you all.